Hi, we are live here, November 10th, 2020, and we are doing a cooking show today. You excited?
Yes.
And I got my co-host, my niece, with me. I didn't even adjust the camera. There we go. Anyway, good morning, guys. Well, almost afternoon, I guess, wherever you're watching. I know everyone's used to be going live in the morning, but I got the week off, so we're just kind of going with it. But here we are with my niece, and we're going to be cooking with, we're doing a cooking show today. As every Tuesday, we do cooking with Glenna. So we're going to get right to it. Anything you want to say? You excited? Anyway, you guys, we're going to get right to it. We're going to bring on Glenna. Here we go. I'm just waiting here. Good morning, Glenna.
Good morning, Nathan.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You ready to rock and roll and do some cooking?
I sure am. And who is your co-host? Sorry, I missed him.
My niece, Natalie.
Hi.
Good morning. Hi. Hi, Natalie.
So you ready to rock and do some morning cooking? Like, I always want to say morning cooking because, well, obviously we usually just cooked all the time, but.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I guess we've all been kind of holed up here because of the storm, so I just decided to cook something that I had, on hand, or everything that was proper. So today we're going to make some bison bone broth, or I've already made that. Plus I'm going to turn it into a soup using some chorizo bison sausage that I got at the farmer's market, and some of the broth that I made the other day, vegetable broth. So
nice.
Yeah, and then I have some bannock that I made the other day that I kind of burnt a little bit, so I'm going to turn it into croutons. So so there's no food waste, and I can't go get fresh bread, or I could walk, but it would be a little bit harder, right? So today it would be a good scary walk, I guess, because of all the ice underneath. But how did you guys fare? Have you been pretty stuck, or are you out and about now?
We just got out yesterday, and that was good because we were stuck in the house for like 3 days, and it was good to go to town. Hey,
Yeah.
now, these girls are up to late. Anyway, I forgot to do my little introduction here, so you guys get ready. But here's my quick introduction. Don't forget to check out IOPPS.ca for your daily jobs, and Eston's Crazy Corn on Facebook and Instagram for your popcorn. Check him out, and also our friends at Canine Action Project on Facebook. Also, Save Red's Dogs on Facebook, Instagram, and SaveRedsDogs.com. And don't forget to get your Chase Days Treaty 6 tickets on our Facebook page, which is Chase Days Treaty 6. And that's at 7 p.m. We do the draw. You got it. Cutoff is tomorrow night at Wednesday midnight, and I think we're hovering around $18,000-ish, maybe more. So check us out. And a big shout out to Clay DeBray, Alexis Christensen, and Bill Ironstan in our area in Saskatchewan, here in the North Battleford and Meadow Lake area, for being elected. So big shout out to those Indigenous politicians. Yeah, that was awesome. They won. Big shout out to them. It's always, like I was saying, it's always nice to see Indigenous people succeed in everything, and they're exceeding in the political spectrum as well. So anyway, we're gonna get right to it.
Yeah, did you watch some of everybody was kind of riveted last week about the U.S. presidential election, and when you saw the numbers from Arizona, the spaces where all the reservations were, they turned the whole state blue by voting, and they said something like 90% of their eligible 76,000 voters vote out.
97.
Was it 97?
97%.
Okay, well, I thought 97% voted for Biden, and 2% was Trump, like 2,000, and then 70 something. But whatever the numbers are, the power of the people there made a difference, right? Like of the Indigenous people, and I mean, they're starting to show up in U.S. presidents, and as U.S. representatives for Senate and states and all kinds of stuff. And I think that it's amazing, that we're taking back some of the key positions, I guess, in politics. And the same goes for Battlefords and stuff. We get a voice, right? We get a voice.
All right, enough political talk. Let's get to cooking. Let's see what's going on here. I'm excited to see the finished product here, but you are good, right, Glenn? All that it is nice to finally see change and our people becoming more involved in the political process. But what are we cooking again? What are we making today?
All right. So if you go I'm going to go over to the stove here. And last night I started these bison bones, and you can see the meat and stuff, kind of like neck bones, right? And you can use neck bones are probably one of the best meats, and because this stuff that starts coming out, and the fat and different things like that, collagen, protein, all these things are great for your body. And eating the whole animal is really something that is a benefit, a health benefit to you. So when we have these neck bones and all that kind of stuff, it's great for your skin. It's great for building muscles and tissues and all kinds of stuff. But it tastes amazing. Like, I mean, if you can acclimate yourself, some people don't like the textures and different things like that, and I get it. But if you do like it, it's something that is very, very high in protein and also in amino acids, lots of stuff for your body, B12, selenium, because this is bison, right? So the bones are a bit different and bigger than neck bones, as you can see, but they also have a lot of properties. So I made these in my Instapot in the slow cook mode. I put it in for 12 hours, and then I cooked it for an hour as a meat or a stew, just to intensify the cooking process or speed it up. Because usually with bone broth, you want to go about 24 hours of cooking to get all the meat and stuff out on a slow cook anyways, right? We cook neck bones pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer out these bones, and then I'm going to put the broth to start in here.
So what do I put on here that we are cooking?
Bison and potato soup.
Bison and potato soup.
Yeah.
I forgot to say that before. Bison and potato.
Potato, no E, not a toe.
I did put that too.
Have you ever made neck bones or anything like that, Nathan?
Me? No, shit, no, man. I barely cook. I put on my Snapchat, I put I can only cook simple things. If I do try, I guess I can cook a little bit, but eggs and chicken are my specialty of just simplicity. But I've never cooked
and your salads. You make some pretty deadly smoothies too, right?
Smoothies, yeah, but smoothies are easy.
It's a meal content, right? So I'm gonna put this inside to my pot to boil.
And we are gonna sorry, Letta, we are gonna try a little bit of music background. You guys in the comment section, let us know if it's too loud or if you don't want it or what. I don't even know if this is music, cooking music anyway. What is cooking music? Like, what is cooking music?
Yeah, exactly.
And we got to watch what we're playing, because last time I did a show on Facebook, they booted me because I was playing copyrighted music.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna come back over here and start the prepping process. Now, I turned the oven on my little frying pan, and I'm gonna chop up my sausage so that I can give it a little bit of a browning before it goes into the soup. And that's just for color. I mean, it has a beautiful color as it is, but you want to be able to have even a little bit of a char, and it kind of, when you bite, it gives a texture. And sometimes that's the whole experience, right? Food is not just, so it can be, if it has to be, it can be just a process that you have to eat. Like I know bodybuilders and different people like that, or people who are on a strict diet for health and wellness and different things like that. Look for just the protein and the content of the food. But when you have time, like we do right now, like schools shut down and all this kind of stuff, we can think about how we want to have our food taste and give it some extra love, I guess, while we're preparing it. So I'm gonna brown this. This is chorizo, so it's got a spice to it.
Chorizo.
Chorizo bison sausage.
Oh, if you guys have any questions for Glenna, just put them in the comments here, and I'll post them, and then I'll ask Glenna.
Yeah. So chorizo is a spicy, like it has its own like a heat to it, like a peppery taste and stuff. And sausage is nice because they usually add a little bit of the fat in there, and because bison is very lean, you know, it has a lot of lean properties, it could come out dry, and people get a little afraid of it, you know, for burgers and things like that. But there are ways to infuse fat or to ask for that content to be higher, but definitely it's not a bad thing. You know, this is, you'll see it as it's frying here. I even put a little bit of olive oil in the pan so that I don't lose a lot of the flavor or the
Oh, that looks good. My mouth is seriously watering right now.
Instead of coming for teens tonight, you better come for some soup, bison soup.
Yeah.
If you're free from the city, right? So I'm gonna put that aside for now, and then I'm gonna turn on my broth here. Now, another thing you can do is, because I like the fat and the content and the tiddly bits and all that kind of stuff, I leave them in there. If you are not into those textures and things like that, and you just want the bone broth, feel free to, of course, strain it, you know, and then use it. Like, see here, this is my vegetable broth I made the other day. Yeah. So if I need some more, I'm going to add it. But I mean, I could strain it because at the bottom I have like garlic, you know, and pepper and different things in there, and it's cloudy. When I shake it up, it gets, you know, the colors all changed. So if you want a clarified one, like, you know, when we're presenting food at a fancy restaurant and you want them to see, like, or you want to see your content inside, like the carrots and wild rice or whatever you're going to be cooking, then you can clarify it by straining it either through cheesecloth or you can also just use a regular strainer and get that out. I like all the flavor, and I don't want to throw anything out because I think it's, you know, there's a lot of health benefits in there that I don't want to lose at this time. Right?
Jessica, chicken this. You've ever watched my snaps where I'm always putting spices on my eggs and my chicken or whatever? Remember my snaps? No, yeah, my Snapchats.
Yes.
When I'm cooking my eggs, and anyway, Jessica Chickeness said she was teasing me, never pass this guy any seasoning shaker because I put lots on.
Yes.
And Michelle Rogers wants to know, where can one get the bison sausage? Looks so good.
The bison chorizo I got at the Saskatoon Farmers Market by the airport. Let me see the packaging. If it has the name of the company. And
it looks.
Okay, it's called the Original Family Farm Grass-Fed Bison. So it's the link is Original Family Farm or the email is originalfamilyfarm@gmail.com. And I'm sure they would probably send you a menu of items and different things that they have. I know they have steaks and burgers and different things. This is the first time I got the sausage, and it smells amazing, like amazing. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit.
And another question is, what alternative meat would you use?
Besides bison, you can use regular pork sausage. If you had, like, if you say you made pork neck bones and then you had soup left over, or you want to split it in two, you could do that. Chicken, you know, turkeys. We're gonna have Christmas dinner coming up here soon. You can use turkey meat. You can use pretty much any kind of animal, you know, especially if you want to get the properties out from the broth. So if anybody enjoys pho, you know, or pho, when you get from Vietnamese, because we kind of mentioned teens there, and I know that's Nathan's favorite. place to
Oh
eat.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
their soups are made with beef bone broth, pork bone broth, you know, chicken, all those kinds of things, and that's something that you know, it's like I said, you get a lot of protein from it. Collagen is one of the main contents of the bone in the bones, and it's going right into the soup. And what that is going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is help your skin stay young and healthy. So it's one of the main proponents, you know, for that sagging skin. You know, I'm getting close to 50 here, and I'm starting to worry about where my chins are going to be.
Only so many things can hang. You don't want your chin to be one of them, I guess, eh?
That's terrible. That's so terrible. He's just awful. Yeah. Well, I got like really good bras to make sure I, you know, don't look like anything's moving lower, right?
Yeah.
I see breastfeed kids. So I have the bone broth going, and then I have this vegetable, and I call it broth, but it's actually stock. So if you ever wanted to know what the difference is between stock and stuff and broth or bone broth, excuse me, is that you are actually using bones, the bones, right? So this was my vegetable stock here that I'm going to add in just for the flavor and stuff. It's made from vegetables. It doesn't mean that it didn't get all the nutrients from the things that I cooked. What it means is that it doesn't have like collagen, selenium, and different things that you get from the bones. So you can make different stocks for different things. And because I have this, I'm not going to freeze it now. I'm going to pop it right into that and just add to that flavor. So I do have some water there, and that's just to, you know, help it grow a little bit. I'll give some flavor and taste and add some, in here right away, some seasonings. But so there's sausage and potato soup. There's lots of, you know, like you can add split peas if you want. You know, people like that kind of stuff. But this is just like a kind of a stewy soup I'm going to make today. And I'm going to thicken it a little bit. I have some flour and some butter out here. And I'll show you a simple roux, I guess, again, for
a roux. What is a roux?
Yeah. Roux is like, it's flour and a fat. So I'm going to use butter today. You can use whatever fats that you might have available to you, like canola oil, lard, whatever is around. Margarine even works. And so usually the component is like, say, it's exactly the same. You use half a cup of flour, half a cup of fat. And then you put those two things together, and you can add, you know, and melt your fat, and then stir in or whisk in your flour, and then slowly add some of the broth into it, and then put it all into the soup. And what that's going to do is give it a thickening. It's going to thicken it. So if you are if you're not gluten friendly, you can use cornstarch. The thing with cornstarch is you use cold liquid when you start to add it in there. So you can't just put your broth in it like with flour. Flour likes the heat; it won't pump up as fast. But cornstarch, you have to use cold liquid to use that. So I have my potatoes here, and I'm going to rinse them. There's a lot of starch in potatoes. So
what's the alternative then for potatoes?
For potatoes, you can use rice. You can use like noodles, any kind of pasta or risotto. You can use all vegetables if you like. Like I had some bacon, which is in some of the greens that I have here that I'm going to add in for my vegetable soup. And, you know, like anything that you think, quinoa, you know, like quinoa, yeah.
That sounds real professional. What are you eating today? Oh, bison and quinoa.
Just for that, I'm going to make sure you taste it one of these days, Nathan. I want you to experience it.
Azure wants to know if you're using Garlic Plus, and she said she had a laughing emoji.
Who is?
Garlic Plus. Do you ever use that?
No. I have used it. Like at the school, they have it for for like to make your easy garlic bread and things like that. The only thing about when you use things like that, I would check the labels, because if you have allergies to like MSG or you're sensitive to it, you can get some pretty good headaches, right? So sometimes I've eaten at restaurants and they use fillers like that kind of make the food that, when you're thickening, it kind of thickens the food so it holds in your stomach a little bit longer and makes you fuller. But some of that stuff is people are allergic to it, or they have a really bad reaction. So I tend to stick to making my own, using my own, seasonings and stuff like that to ensure that I have, like that I know what's going into the food. And it doesn't mean I don't use it. Like I use some canned goods. I like canned tomato soup in my hangover soup. And I use, onion soup mix. But again, read the contents. It's up to you on what you enjoy, the flavors and things like that to enhance things. Like I love using what's easy sometimes, to make a meal really quick. But I also enjoy when I have time like this to just create something that's going to, blow my own socks off, I guess, is what I'm trying to do, right? Mm-hmm. So you can see I chart up my.
Oh, good.
I chart up some of my meat, and I have my potatoes inside here, and I'm gonna bring that to a boil. Then I cut some red onion up. I'm
gonna put my phone number on here. If anyone wants to call in while Glenn is cooking and ask questions, feel free. You guys can call.
For sure.
Call me at 306-717-5395. We'll put you on the air if you want to talk along and just see what Glenn is cooking, what we're doing. This is just a new way to introduce, I guess, helping Glenna's business as well, cook 'em daisies and just show some, cooking some indigenous cuisine, I guess, and doing it live. And Yeah,
well, definitely with indigenous, like a lot of stuff that's, grows right here, and we'll get further into that as we start going through the weeks. So
we're gonna definitely get more creative on these shows. Right now, this is just a quick setup we did. I'm not there, but Glenna did her setup, and just better camera angles and everything, and just more shows. And I'm so excited for this because it's like it's cool. I like it.
And we're kind of bouncing back an idea where I would give a heads up to what I'm making next week. And if people want to cook along with us, or if you want to come in as a guest, then I think we're going to start something like that. I know Nathan has to handle the computers and stuff, but, I'll put a shout out there even to Carrie Chicosis.
I just messaged her, but she's doing a PD right now online.
Okay.
But I said, let's do our own cooking show for the school. Just like this, and that'd be awesome. But if you guys in the future, what we want to do is bring you on the camera as well, where you'd be in one of these shots, and we'll put the ingredients at the beginning, and then you basically can cook along with Glenna, and just kind of have fun. So, going to be trying a lot of cool things. But we got a question here.
Okay.
What do you recommend for diabetics, individuals who are Celiac?
Oh, celiacs.
Celiacs.
Okay, so that would be gluten intolerance, I believe. And so if I wasn't using flour, then I would, of course, use the cornstarch method. And so for a thickening agent, there's also almond flour, which may, celiac, I'm not really sure about all the different things that happen or what you're sensitive to, but there are a few different options that we can look at. I can help you search some things out and see what goes on. But definitely you want to stay away from gluten. I'm pretty sure that's the biggest intolerance. And, you would have to you probably read a lot of labels, because sometimes when you buy things like pork and or sausages and different things, they could definitely have gluten and different things inside them. So you do want to be careful, and that's why I like making my own bone broth, because there again, I don't need to use a soup base, which may have things that would cause allergies and different stuff like that. So and as a caterer, like I do get questions like that. I haven't had a lot of interaction with celiac disease itself, but I do know that I have to look at labels and different things like that. And it's really good to think about that, because you can have allergies, or your kids can be sensitive to stuff and you won't even know. And especially when they're young, and they can't interact with us. But every time you feed them, and I had a son born with a closed stomach. It was like maybe the size of a straw opening. And so he was spitting up food for like 6 weeks before he had a surgery. And so now to this day, he still has some stomach issues, and things that he can and cannot eat. He can eat it, but it's terrible for him. So yeah, any food allergies and things like that, Googling stuff is great. I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor in any way, but I try and learn things, and I'll definitely look a little bit more into that for about options.
That's what we should maybe do a show on, maybe a whole month of, 4 shows in a row, exactly doing about diabetic cooking and what you can cook, especially on a budget, eh?
Well, yeah. And I mean, like to stay away from sugars.
Can you cook healthy on a budget?
Oh, yeah. I think it's easier if you're, like I do batch cooking. Like I know how to do it, to cook for like 40 or 60 people or 60 meals. And I think that, if you start off at the end of, like if you're shopping every 2 weeks, possibly, then you can be buying things that are going to, go a little bit longer ways. You're going to buy in bulk. And once you start in that, then your staples are going to be in your cupboards and stuff like that. And things that we have to watch out for that are sneaky with diabetes and carbs and stuff like that is like ketchup and sauces and all these kinds of things. So the things that I'm putting in here today, like the bone broth and everything, again, that's a high fat content. So I would suggest like talk to your doctor about how much fat you can have in a day, because it does tend to heighten your sugar levels and things like that. Potatoes definitely do. And, so you could, like I have wild rice as a staple. Quinoa, again, would be something that would be different. It'd be lower gluten and lower sugar levels. You could use sweet potato or turnips and rutabagas and things like that. Those also, again, have less sugar content than a regular potato does. So, I mean, there's lots of different options when you look at diabetes and things like that. And I mean, and what you're willing to give up, I guess, to ensure that you stay healthy, right? And that your sugar levels are good. I'm a type 2 diabetic. I am insulin resistant, so I have needles. I take 3 to 4 a day, depending on how many meals I have. And wow. So I'm very much, I do increase my insulin, like if I drink a pop or if I have popcorn, I can't wait to try Eston's popcorns, but there again, right? Like it has to be in low doses, but it's one of my favorite go-to things if I'm hungry and I don't want to cook. It's just like I want popcorn or whatever. On a Friday night when you're done at the end of the week, you want to be. Popcorn's my favorite, but it also is very high. It's very high in carbs. Although it has a lot of fiber as well, it does help it slow down the sugar release in your body. But I'll just talk a little bit about my my broth here. So I made a vegetable soup on Saturday, and I just kind of cleaned out my fridge and got some things. So I have fennel, daikon, which is like a radish, and leeks, and the tops of the fennel as well, and onion. And so it's really very green, like it's a lot of green And now that it's been sitting for a couple of days in the fridge, you know, it's monstery green or pea soup green, I guess. But, you know, it tastes good. This bacon that's in there is a radish and it's lower in sugar, you know, so all this kind of thing I'm going to put inside there because, again, you know, I cleaned out my fridge and didn't resupply that meat, but I'm going to put it inside my soup with the potatoes, and that's not going to add a lot of calories, maybe 120, you know, per serving because there's a little bit of fat in there, but along with your vegetable and your bone broth, right? So the calorie content's not going to be high. It'll kind of offset and slow down some of the processing of fat in your body, and then it's also going to you know, it's going to add some health content and things to it too, right? So health benefits.
Yeah, Azure goes, someone close to me has had to reduce salt/sodium due to heart conditions. Makes you look at what we put in our bodies. Yeah, as I get older, yeah, 100%. Like, just, you know, you start watching what you eat, and yeah, I'm still snacking and stuff. Like, that's the number one demon I got, is snacking all the time. But you start, because when you're younger, you got that wicked crazy metabolism, and you can just eat anything, and you know, and you're good for, you know, whatever. But I mean, as old as you get, your metabolism slows. Plus, as Indigenous people, we got to watch out for being diabetic as well, right? That's a high thing that runs in our genes, I guess. But yeah, you definitely got to watch what you eat.
Well, and I mean, and just for food content wise, is healing yourself, right? Like, you know, when we were before the visitors came, and the, you know, the colonization and stuff happened, our diets were very, very different, right? Like, we didn't have a lot of there was no processed food, and
there was no dairy,
and there wasn't a lot of dairy, correct? You know, sugar was something that came from the trees, maple syrup, you know, birch syrup, different things like that, right? And so we, and then sweetness from vegetables and fruits, you know, that we got off the trees, and along with those things, we brought, you know, you brought in nutrients and fiber and, you know, like superfoods. If you think about choke cherries and pemmican and stuff like that, you know, they were very, very lightweight, and they were very easy, and they lasted for years and years. I did a science class a couple weeks ago, and there was some pemmican that was found just outside of Saskatoon here that was well over 150 years old, and it was still edible and, you know, without mold. So it's you think about processed food, you know, like the only other food that I can think of that does that now is McDonald's French fries.
Oh, you know what? I went and had McDonald's yesterday for the first time because my daughter and my niece wanted it. So I was like, okay, whatever. So we went and had McDonald's, and this is why I don't eat McDonald's, man. Like, I stay away from them. We got our fries and our food and everything. I just ordered the McChicken, 2 McChicken burgers, and sandwiches. And anyway, we all got our meals. My daughter started eating her fries, and there was a damn hair in there. There was 2 pieces of hair. The one hair was like it was cooked right in.
Oh,
and it's like,
gosh.
I don't know.
It must have been like right in the fryer. Oh, I don't even know. Wow.
It was gross, man. But anyway, it's like, you're not, don't, you know, and I know a lot of people do fast food with their kids when they're in a rush, because we're in a rush society. If you can, try keep it down to, man, they even say only eat fast food once a year. Like, it's so unhealthy for you. It's so processed, and there's nothing, no matter how healthy they try spin it, there's nothing healthy about fast food at all. So, I mean, it's like, try and, yeah, the salt, the sodium, everything. It's just, nothing's healthy about it.
No. And I mean, you know, like, your food's coming out microwaved if you're fine with that. Like, you know, like, I've been on many long road trips, and sometimes that's what it is. And, you know, they talk about chicken nuggets and things like that, but that's pretty much the only thing that's palatable to me. is a chicken nugget from McDonald's, and I don't know why. I'll eat French fries once in a while, or hash brown or something like that when we get coffee. You know, if I have already taken my needles or I'm in a pinch, right? So I'm very I only really go to McDonald's for coffee, and so that's and maybe a muffin or something. So this was the knife I used for the potatoes. I just wanted to show you that. And then you saw me pick up the onions with it too. I did chop the onions, and I used the back of my knife. So try not to scrape your, like you use your tools, I guess, because these need to be sharpened, and you can only sharpen them so many times. Like this is one of my better knives, and I have some from Walmart were just as good, like these Starfit or whatever. I got a whole pack of them for $20, and if that's what your budget is, then do it. Some of these knives that I buy are $17 all the way to $200, and they're very expensive. So I don't want to misuse them in any way. I have a holder for them. This is a bread knife. This is it's got the serrated edges, and this is what you would cut bread with. Okay, so again, I burnt my bannock the other day because I was using broil and not staying in the kitchen, and I heard the timer go off. But I just like either you flip over your bannock or you broil it for a little while. And well, I missed it. So I'm gonna chop up these, and I'm gonna make some croutons for my soup. Like you can have full-on bannock, but if you just want a little bit of a crunch or something different, and we don't have any chips or any crackers left, I guess, in the house now after 3 to 4 days of being at home, and so I'm gonna make us a little bit of a treat here with this bannock I didn't cook properly or whatever. So I'm going to chop all that up.
I just got a quick question here.
Okay.
Amanda wants to know how you and I, with the pandemic, how are we keeping ourselves busy? With me, okay. Amanda.
Okay.
If you guys, basically how I've been super, super busy because of the pandemic. I've done a lot of podcasts. I do a morning show every single morning. I'm only doing them later in the day this week just because, we're shut down at our school. And but these podcasts have been keeping me super. I seem to be more busy during this pandemic than I was when life was normal. So I don't know. I don't know how to look at that as a good thing, but I mean, I'm just going with it, and I'm accepting all, opportunities, and it's keeping me, I guess, grounded, not letting me go off the wall too much, because I know, a lot of people are not doing nothing during this pandemic, and I guess that's at the same time what we're trying to do here with these shows is just trying to brighten it up for everybody and stuff. What do you think, Glenna?
Okay, and so things to do during the pandemic. Same thing. I kind of did a couple of podcasts. I put some things out there to do some teaching classes, which I did with some of the groups that I worked with when I lived in Winnipeg. So Winnipeg Aboriginal Sports and Rec had me doing cooking classes with them, and we made videos, and then I also came in on with them on Zoom. I did another video for the province of Manitoba on how to make bannock. Spending time with my family. I picked we've got about 25 gallons of berries this year. I went and got wild rose hips. I did some gardening and, tried tomatoes on my deck and stuff like that. So, as much as possible, I guess, is to find ways that are inexpensive but also fulfilling, and it'll bring something in the end, right? So now I have choke cherries and Saskatoons and wild dried out rose hips for tea and different things like that, right? So I'm appreciating what's close by and what's easy to get, and and then cooking. You know, I really enjoy this. This is something that I always enjoyed, was cooking. And it's not for everybody. Some people just like baking. Some people are, you know, shy about, you know, getting their getting in there and making something for themselves, or, you know, like creating meals and things like that. But they don't have to all be gourmet. They don't all have to be, you know, something really hard. I have a lot of recipes that are just simple and easy and kid friendly, and we'll do a couple of those too, Nathan, so that, you know, it's easier to start like this. Like I said to Nathan, I said, I just really have high tech kind of food right now. I don't have, you know, like regular staples or fun food or even vegetables. I said, but we'll make something, and this is what I have, you know, is bones in the freezer and things like that. So yeah. So I'm melting the butter. You know, not a super high heat. You can melt butter on a high heat and turn it brown, and it gives it a different kind of a nutty little flavor. But for this, we're going to put this on my croutons, so I'm going to warm that up. A couple minutes, we'll put this the sausage and the onion in there once the potatoes are almost cooked, and we're just about there. As you can see, you can leave your skin on. There's a little bit more vitamins inside there and nutrients that it gets from the earth. You know, it grows underground, but it also helps the potato keep its shape. So if you want your, you know, things to look the way you did when you cut them up and not get too mushy, and it's good that way. So here we go. I have a little bit of butter, about 3 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to just pour it over on these croutons here on the bannock.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Butter is awesome. You know, like, I don't know if there's anything else kind of like it. You know,
there's a question. Do you use cast irons to cook certain dishes? Which foods are best for cast iron? While you're getting ready here, just answer that.
Cast iron, I think, is a really great thing. Like, I have one frying pan that's a cast iron, and I do a lot of my vegetables and different things really fast in there because I find that it doesn't stick. And the whole thing is not to wash them, or, you know, you're not supposed to immerse them in water because they get rusty and things like that. But if you're taking things like, and you're making quiche, or say I had this sausage and I put the potatoes there and some egg, and then I covered it with bannock, I could do that all in my cast iron pan, and then I would be, you know, take it from the stove where I brown the stuff and then put it right in the oven. Or I could also use it over an open fire. You know, so that's the benefits of using, you know, cast iron, is that the full pot is ready to go. And I know that they do make some other ones like that, but cast iron has a really good heat point, even cooking. You know, they're quite a bit more expensive than the regular pots and pans. If you can afford them, get them, and it'll change your life. You know, there's some benefits from the metal itself that gets put into the food, you know, way more over than like this Lagostina I have here has an enamel base, and once that cracks, I have to get rid of it, because if there's any scrapes and stuff and things in there, then it just starts going into your food, and it could actually be toxic to your body. So you have to be careful with some of the things that you purchase, you know, like the cheaper ones at the dollar store and everything like that. If they're all scratched up and stuff like that, it's probably best to get a new one.
I never even thought about that. If your pans are scratched, that stuff might be going into your food.
Yeah, and I mean, it gets into your bloodstream. It goes into your stomach. You know, like, and it's not getting, you know, used up by the acids in your belly, and you hope you pass it, but you also hope it's not getting stuck somewhere and creating blockages, right? And with your blood and stuff. So,
wow, there's a tip for you guys. There's a Glenda tip. If your pan is scratched, go get a new one, because shit might be getting into your blood.
Yes, so be very careful, right? Wow. So I put salt and pepper on here with the croutons and some butter. A little bit of, this is parsley now, for a little bit of nice color. I like garlic. That is like
The
my
garlic plus.
oh my god, I love garlic. I could just roast it and eat it. In fact, I have pickled garlic in the cupboard.
Yeah. No, garlic's good. I buy those ones at Walmart there that they're all it's in a little jar and it's just, crushed and everything for you.
Yeah.
And I like literally put it on everything. I'm putting it on my eggs now, putting it on like everywhere. I love garlic.
Yeah, and I mean, when you do that, make sure you're finding out what kind of oil you're putting it in, okay? That it comes in, because you might buy some of the cheaper ones and they're put in soybean oil, which may affect people's health in different ways. There's some that are right in olive oil and different things like that. So, it's great to have the conveniences, like I said, but also read the contents and look at it and see if that is a health benefit to you, or a detriment, right?
I am literally learning as we go right now. I never even thought of that. Never even thought of the pans. That now I'm learning about garlic and make sure there's certain kind of oil. And I did learn like 2 weeks ago, or no, a month ago, that the healthiest oil is I just forgot all of a sudden. What's the healthiest oil again?
I think there's health benefits to it all. Like coconut oil would be vegan, right? Olive oil, all those kinds of things.
Olive oil,
Was something created from here. Oh, sorry. I'm going to mix these up and get them in the oven so that they'll be ready here in a few minutes. I'll try not to have it on broil and burn them any further, but my son's laughing at me in the background. That's fine. You can laugh at me too. It happens, right? Even to the best of us. And, it just, when you try and go too fast, you should always be, be cognizant. If you're going fast, don't leave your food. And I've told them 100 times, my sons, video games, and they're hungry and they come in and turn the oven on and they throw something in and whatever. And then, a couple minutes later it's burning, or they're cooking their eggs on high. And, I think Nathan does that too, is he likes to cook his eggs on high. Eggs are better when you cook them on lower.
Are you talking about me?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I do put them on high. I do put my eggs on high. No. I put it on high medium now.
Yeah, we'll go to medium. Come down another notch here. Work your way in, because it just keeps the egg tasting better. Okay, I'm gonna put
another
show
tip.
you these little. What's that?
Ooh, that. So there's butter all over those, and that's old bannock that you burnt, and you're turning it into croutons.
Croutons, yeah, to put on top of. So instead of crackers or things like that, or full slices of bread, I'll just have some croutons, and I won't use all of these today in the soup. I can use them for salad or whatever later in the week, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pop these in the oven. I'm gonna set the timer, and for about 6 minutes. I'm gonna check these potatoes, and so you can help me check them here with you.
That bison looks so good.
I know, right?
So how do you check yours? What are you doing right there?
I just broke it. I broke a potato. So I wanted to see if it would come apart. Yeah. And see, it's still got a good shape right now. It's still got a good content. It's a little cooled off now, so I can touch it. It's not really mashing quality yet, so it still has a little bit of time to cook. You can see it's see-through almost all the way, except right in the center. So in a couple minutes, this is going to be ready. So I'm going to add my onions now. So I cut up these red onions. I didn't want them to lose too much of their color when they go in here, so I'm going to add that. And that's just a thing of flavor. If you've ever had soup at different places and they put onions live on top, right? I don't have any green onions. I just have dried ones right now in the pantry or whatever. And then I'm also going to add my sausage. And because I like the texture, like I said, I want to have that crispy. And here I'm eating it. I'm eating a piece, and oh my God, it's good. I wanted to try it before I put it in the soup so I know that it doesn't change the flavoring and stuff. And as cooks, I would do that, is season things. And because I pre-seasoned my bone broth and the vegetable broth, I didn't add any salt or seasonings yet. So I waited till potatoes cooked, and I'm gonna put this sausage in, and then I'm gonna reheat it.
Mm-hmm.
And see, look at how beautiful that color is inside there now. You see that?
Yeah, that looks good.
Doesn't it look amazing? Look at.
So what's all in there? You got bison meat, you got potatoes, and you got
Sausage.
yeah,
The bison, the sausage, potato, daikon, leeks, onion, green onion, red onion. Daikon is like a radish. It's a Chinese, like a Chinese turnip.
So those are the ones that I pass by all the time and no clue what they're made to cook for. Like I always see
what they taste like. Yeah.
Yeah, like no, because I always wondered, man. Like I'm like looking at these funny looking foods, and I know they're made for something, but I just never.
So I'm gonna put the two beside each other. You see it? Can you? Is that a good shot?
You got to go a little bit closer.
So this is the potato.
There you go. There you go. Oh, there you go.
This is the potato, and this is the daikon. And you see, like the texture. The potato's soft. So is the daikon, but it also has like these,
more
clear flavor. You know, it's yellow when it comes out, or white almost. Oh yeah, and there's a little bit of what else did I put in here? I'm forgetting the vegetables already. But yeah, like there's quite a few vegetables because from the broth itself. But again, I don't want it to go bad. I want to, amplify my flavorings. I also want to amplify the vegetable and the content in there. So this meal is jam-packed with vegetables, a lot of vitamins and minerals, and the bone broth itself. I can add in, like, here's the bones now too, left over, and there's still a lot of meat on there and stuff. And if you like, then you can put that into your soup. But I just wanted you to see the bison sausage itself, like how pretty it looks inside there, and like not overpower it. And I can just eat that on my own, like neck bones, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But you see the soup itself right now, it's not super light. Like it's not clear, like I said, but it's got a lot of movement, so it's more like a soup. But I'm gonna melt a little bit more butter, and I'm gonna add some flour to it so that I can thicken it. Again, if you can't use flour, then you can use cornstarch and water, and you don't actually need the fat. The fat content is optional with the flour. I mean, it works with the flour really well, but with cornstarch, you would just need cold water and the cornstarch. And if you're allergic to corn, then again, try maybe almond flour, and or you can, like all those vegetables I put in there, I would blend them and then put them back in the soup to thicken it that way. Right, so you can kind of use the vegetables and the fiber in them to create a different, like a thicker texture in your soup. If you don't want to add those things, yeah. So the one thing, butter is very, very, like it is one of.
It's like so soothing seeing you twirl that butter. It's like one of them soothing videos. One of those soothing, satisfying videos when you're like twirling the butter. It's melting.
Can I hypnotize you with this?
Yeah,
Nathan, send me money. Oh, I dropped my knife. Okay. So we're just about done with this now. Is there any questions about the soup or other things? Yeah. I guess.
You guys answer if there's any questions there in the comments. Feel free to answer or ask Blenna if you want, and she'll answer while she's cooking.
Yeah, and I was looking up bison meat, with my croutons. I'll give them 2 more minutes. I'm starting to smell the garlic and the butter cooking, the soup. Everything seems to be coming together so nicely. Again, we're going to wait for it to thicken this up.
Mm-hmm.
right?
My mouth is seriously watering. I'm just wanting to have a bite of this. We did a cooking show with Glenna. Me, Carrie, Chacosis did a cooking show with Glenna and her partner there. That was like, I think in February, eh?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
February, January, and man, that food that we ate was it was so good. It was so good. It was like restaurant 5-star quality. That was so good. What did we even eat that day? What was that?
I made chicken and wild rice soup, and then I think I made you guys your own jam and stuff.
Yeah,
and
but
then,
it was something
then,
you've never tasted before. It was so good.
Yeah. So flour likes to be leavened off. So if I'm gonna use 3 tablespoons of butter, I'm gonna use 3 tablespoons of leveled flour. And then we're just gonna mix this really quick. Take it off the heat. You see that?
Yeah.
So it's starting to thicken up. You know, the swirl you like is no longer there. I'm going to take a little bit of this broth. Try not to have too much in there. And slowly add it into... If you add too much at a time, you're going to end up with lumps. So you got to be really slow and really, like right there. Do not leave this alone, okay? When you're making your roux. So this is the roux content here. Your roux. You turn the
that's what we made
down.
last time. We made a roux last time. I forget.
Yeah, well, it's the best for the soup, right?
Yeah.
It's the content. So
I think that was the key, was the roux.
Yes, the thickening and the taste of the butter and the flour and everything all inside there, right? So see how this is really thickening up here?
Just real thick.
Real thick, like me. Okay, we're just about ready. My croutons are nicely toasted now. You know, the garlic, the butter, and I'm gonna add this into the roux into my soup.
Can you hear it? You want to come in the camera?
What do you think, Natalie? You've been quiet there.
Oh, she left, and my daughter's here now.
Oh,
my daughter's she's doing online learning
from Ontario, hey?
Yeah, she's on a break right now because they're an hour ahead.
Oh, okay, good. Lunchtime. Okay, so there's my thickened soup now. It'll take a couple of minutes. You know, you can see the texture changed a little bit, the color and all that stuff. And the potatoes now are soft. The vegetables are heated through, and the soup and the bison again. And then we're going to plate this. I'm going to make a little movement here. And put some of this. I've been living in my place for a year, and I need to redo my cupboards. Put things where I need them to be or where I want them to be. All right. So let's plate this up.
Can you guys in the comments that are watching, can you guys hear the music in the background? I'm trying to add a little. Oh my goodness, that looks good. With that.
It's right inside there, eh? So look at all that beautiful sausage. I'm going to grab a few of these croutons and throw them on top. So good. And there you go. You know, that little bit of crunch and that little bit of garlic on top. There you go. And then if I had some more greens, I would put them on there, but I'm going to do a little sprinkle of parsley just to offset the color. And then I'm going to give it back to the light, and you can see how pretty that green makes it pop. So if you
Yum.
want to present, your food in a different way, you can start looking at the way people, like do little things to just give it some boost of color or offset some of it. And you can do that with your vegetables. You can do that with, spices or hot chili paste. And, if you like Frank's or chili, the chili sauce or sour cream, sour cream would probably look really nice on this too. And would even taste good. But so it's lunchtime, guys, and I'm gonna eat. But did you have any more questions?
I want to just say, Glenna, how awesome it was to have you on here. It's good. So, I want you to know that we are going to do this every Tuesday. Right now, Glenna and me are, because of the coronavirus, we have no work right now for the week. So we're doing this during the day. But we are going to just start doing this every Tuesday with more and more in-depth cooking, maybe cooking on a budget and cooking for diabetics, all that stuff. Just let us know, inbox me and let me know what you guys would like to see on the show. And if Glenn is capable of doing that. But yeah, yes, we are going to be doing a show. So it's part of the morning show. So if some of you guys who have been following my shows, I do Monday to Friday. Monday, it's like a motivational one. Tuesday is cooking. It was Tech Tuesday, but now it's like cooking. Wednesday is Wealth Wednesday, where we'd learn about money and how to invest in stuff. Thursday, still working on that one. Friday is Fitness Friday with Joel Peterson. So Tuesday, if you guys just want to tune into the weekly show with Glenna and learn how to cook, it's every Tuesday. For now, we're kind of just whenever during this week, but usually it's at 7:00 in the morning, Saskatchewan time. Any closing words there, Glenna? Oh, hold on, I got you on mute. Sorry. Can you hear me?
You giving me the opportunity, of course, and being able to share some of this stuff. I think that it's important to, showcase some of the foods that were already here pre-colonization time. And I'm starting to specialize mostly in just doing and adding that kind of food in there, and also learning about that. I'm teaching it at schools now here in Saskatoon. I like to, I love what I do. It constantly changes, but at the same time, a lot of things are tried and true, like the roux recipe that I made today. It just works, and it creates it intensifies the flavors of stuff. And if I can give some of my knowledge to you all, and bring some warmness to your home and stuff, then I've done exactly what I wanted to do.
Well, thank you, Glenna. I'm going to try to remove this. Thank you for coming on and doing this for us. Sorry, guys. I'm pissing around with the camera here. Anyway, thank you, Glenna. Again, we will see you guys next week with Glenna. If you guys want to stay tuned for Glenna watching her cook and everything, that's every Tuesday. I will update you and let you know if we're going to be doing it at 7:00 in the morning, or we might switch it to the nighttime. I don't know. We're just kind of playing with times right now because everything is out of whack in this whole world, and we'll see what that. But anyway, I'm out of here. Glenna's out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. For the Wealth Wednesday show.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
I'll post the ingredients and the suppliers and maybe some of the calorie contents of the food that I made today too.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, you guys, with that, we are out of here. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow.